Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sara Van Dyke from Chiropractic, and I'm here today to talk to you about this. What other injuries could you be dealing with that feel like plantar fasciitis that aren't plantar fasciitis? Plantar fasciitis is one of the most quote-unquote common injuries in the foot. Is it actually that common? I would argue no. A lot of people think they have plantar fasciitis and they actually don't. So I have brought this lovely foot model here, and I guess this dude's injured too because he broke his toe, but brought this foot model here to help me illustrate and talk about some of the different injuries that you may think are plantar fasciitis that aren't. So one of the first ones I want to talk about is a posterior tibialis tendinopathy. The posterior tibialis muscle is kind of in the back of your leg, almost near your calf muscle, and it does a lot of similar movements to your calf. And the muscle ends in a tendon, which attaches here to this bone right here called your navicular, which is in the middle of your foot. So it's right here. If I'm going to take my sock off, it's right here. And a lot of people think, okay, I have pain right here under my arch. It's got to be plantar fasciitis. The plantar fascia is kind of more here at the start of the movement away from the heel. So right as you move away from the heel, your plantar fascia is this big bundle here of very tight connective tissue. And it's tight on purpose. You need it to be that way so you can kind of catch and release energy through that area. And it works really, really well as kind of a sling there for your foot, in terms like an energy sling. So the posterior tibialis tendon right there, that one's rehabbed pretty easily. It responds, most tendons respond really well to a progressive tendon loading protocol, and that one usually does as well. So if you feel pain there, that could be it. Another thing that it also could be is one of your plantar nerves or a branch of the tibial nerve. So the tibial nerve comes down through the middle of your foot and ankle as what's called the tunnel here. Right here, it comes down and then it branches off into a bunch of little nerves. One of those little nerves actually goes down to this big bone here on your heel called the calcaneus, and that's actually also what the nerve is called, and that one's right on the heel, and that can definitely cause a lot of pain that feels like it's the plantar fascia because it's right on the heel. Usually that's point tender. It's just one spot, and that's what's going to cause, pain for some people. The other thing that it could be is one of the other nerve, plantar nerve branches, like the median plantar nerve, the medial plantar nerve along this area. That can also be in a similar spot to the plantar fascia, so right about here. Nerves tend to get, there's a few different sensations that nerves get that fascia doesn't get. If you feel burning, it's not your fascia. If you feel numbness, it's also not your fascia. Sharp shooting pain can be either. Dull or achy could be either. Nerve pain will typically tend to follow certain patterns. On the foot, it can follow similar patterns to some of the muscles, so that doesn't really help you as much. But typically, if you feel any burning or numbness or tingling, it's not your fascia, unless your fascia, there's a couple people that have some fascial anomalies or issues where the fascia actually grows over the nerve and can actually tighten up around some of those nerves, and then the fascia needs to be cut to release the nerve. In that case, the nerve is the pain-generating tissue. But the plantar fascia is contributing to that as the problem. There are some people that end up getting the plantar fascia surgically released over that nerve, and that can be helpful. I had a college teammate who did that, who did have some relief from that. Let's see, other things that people could confuse it with. There is a muscle here that goes to the big toe called the flexor hallucis flexor hallucis longus, and that one is involved in moving your toe and flexing it, which is moving it forward. And it lives right here. Sometimes people will actually feel that under here, and I've had a couple people tell me, I have plantar fasciitis, and point right to that area. That one's not as common. You'll see that more in dancers or jumping athletes. Usually you'll only feel that if you're jumping and your toes are pointing up like this to full range, and you actually get your big toe pointed all the way. And if you're doing a lot of repeated jumping to that full range with your toe, you're gonna feel, and you feel that pain. Those are the kind of people who are dealing with that issue. And you could actually feel that along your foot or even up into your ankle as part of a ankle impingement of that tendon a little higher up. But, or that muscle tendon area a little higher up. So that is something that you'd expect to see more in soccer players, runners, and dancers. Dancers being at the very top of that list because they're going into a lot of those full toe flexion or forward bending type of movements. There's a lot of little structures on the bottom of the foot, so I'm definitely going to leave out some of the main ones or some of the other ones, but those are a lot of the main issues. I've also had a lot of people point to the back of the heel and say, I have plantar fasciitis, and they'll point to here, or the back of the heel here. So if you have pain on the heel, that's here, like this, or here. That's really kind of surrounding anywhere back behind the heel, either the middle back, the outside back, or just the back of the heel. That is not plantar fasciitis. Your plantar fascia only lives on the bottom here, so you're probably dealing with a nerve issue or an Achilles tendon issue. So, or there's a couple other tendons that we could talk about too, but generally speaking, one of the tendons that we've already covered could be causing that, or the Achilles tendon itself. So those are the main culprits that people often blame for plantar fasciitis. If you do happen to have any questions about any of those, the treatment for all of those is all a little different. Like I said, for a lot of the tendons, a progressive tendon loading protocol would be helpful. So go ahead and see that. And check out any of my other videos on these topics. I have a few on my channel, so you can subscribe, like, comment below if you have any questions, or just directly send me an email. My email information is in the description below. Thank you guys, and have a good one.